everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. This morning what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 13 and 14 activities that I graded earlier this week. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for chapters 15 and 16 after spring break. Okay, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading chapters 13 and 14 activities earlier this week. Hopefully you've already gone in and looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. Most of you did well on the chapters 13 and 14 assignment. There were a few of you that kind of ran out of time and you just had to kind of get done what you could. But overall, most of you did well. So just let me know if you have questions about that. The discussion that we had for chapters 13 and 14 that dealt with coordination failures in the labor market, I thought that went very well. I really appreciate everyone's participation on the discussion, so keep up the good work there. So like I said, overall, most of you did well on the test. Most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, I know I always remind you of this, but I think it's important to understand that you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. Okay? All right, so now what we need to do is look at the activities page and see what we've got coming up due next for this course. So right now we are on kind of towards the end of week 10 of the semester, and we just had work due Monday of this week, so we don't have any other work due this week or during spring break. I purposely kind of made sure that we didn't have anything due during spring break so that you can enjoy your spring break, not have to worry about working on the course materials. But keep in mind that the next set of activities is due early the week after spring break, specifically Tuesday, March 31st. So you're either going to need to, if you want your spring break free from doing coursework, then you're either going to have to work on the chapters 15 and 16 activities the rest of this week, or at least be working on it early next week. Don't wait until Tuesday of next week, the due date, to get started, because you won't have time to get everything done. All right, so let me kind of tell you a little bit about chapters 15 and 16. Chapter 15 is going to cover money and the financial system. So you're going to learn about the functions and properties of money, the banking system, and the Federal Reserve. Okay, and then chapter 16 is going to kind of take what you learned about money and the financial system and kind of expand on that. And so in chapter 16, you're going to learn about banking and the money supply. So you're going to learn about two definitions of money. You're going to learn about M1 and M2 money. Just in general, it's just different ways that we can categorize what's considered money in the financial system. M1 is a much narrower definition of money that just includes assets that are highly liquid. In other words, assets or money that you can turn into cash very quickly. And then the M2 definition of money includes all of what's included in M1 with the addition of less liquid assets. Okay, so you're going to learn about that. Then you'll also learn about how banks work, how banks create money for the financial system in the economy. And then you're also going to learn about the role that the Federal Reserve plays in the money supply. So you're going to learn about the tools that the Fed or Federal Reserve uses to regulate, manage the money supply. All right, so that's chapters 15 and 16. So be working on those. Again, don't wait until the due date to get started. Go ahead and be working on it now, and then you can finish it up after spring break if you need to. But just make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Make sure you're using the resources that are provided. You know, of course, your textbook. You've got your PowerPoint slides that I've posted on the assignment page, and those PowerPoint slides are really useful because they basically give an outline of everything that's presented in the textbook. Okay, so if you're not already using those, I would highly recommend doing so. And then you also have the videos. Make sure that you're actually using the resources provided. If I see that you're including information on your assignment, for example, that's not included in those resources, that's going to lead me to believe that you're relying way too much on AI to do the work for you for this course. And that's going to be points counted off. So just make sure that you're using the resources and only including information from those resources. Okay? All right. Also, keep in mind that a lot of the concepts that we're learning about in economics have different context depending on what you're talking about, what kind of market you're talking about, or what area of the economy we're talking about. So that's another thing that is a problem with relying too much on AI, is because the AI, unless you tell it what context you're using to get the answers, it's going to maybe, in most cases, going to give you the incorrect information. So make sure that you're using the resources provided. All right? And that's all I have for you for today. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy spring break, and I will talk to you again after spring break. Thank you.